Alex McKay our press, and I'm here with Hakaraia Wolfson, who returns to action next Friday at 559 Fights 84. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course, man. I'm happy to be finally talking with you. You're 10 days out. How are you feeling?
Bro, I feel great, man. I feel great. I've been in the States coming up 3 months now. And just every day, I feel like I'm getting to another level. I'm so blessed to be around some coaches that are just experts in their own field. I've been doing my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Johnny Faria, a fifth degree black belt. He runs the Alliance San Diego school. And then in that school, he brings in Justin Flores, J-Flo, who's just a whiz when it comes to blending like judo, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu together. So my takedowns have gone on a lot better. And then to top it all off, I'm going and doing my striking with AJ Matthews, a former Bellator fighter. So I just feel like I got a good thing going at the moment where I'm learning a lot every day. I'm pushing my limits every day, and yeah, I can't wait to fight next weekend.
Awesome. I do want to learn more about your move, but before we talk about your fight too, I wanted people who don't know your story to get to know you a little bit. How did you get into mixed martial arts?
So I originally got into mixed martial arts through my dad. So my father was a kickboxer back in his heyday. And growing up, I was always hitting mitts and stuff in the garage. You know, he never really pushed me to compete, but it was a definite for sure that I had to know how to protect myself. You know, in New Zealand's not like it's not a place where people are getting shot up every day or anything, but like you got to know how to protect yourself. We down in NZ, we love a good scrap down there. You know, so if you're walking around the streets, and someone has an eye problem, you got to be ready. Got to be very ready to throw down. You know, so my dad made sure I was ready for that, and I think it was just a natural progression as I got to a teenager. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was becoming more popular. So around the age of 14, 15, I started doing Jiu-Jitsu, and then had my first MMA fight when I was 17. And then after that, I actually lost my first amateur fight by a Jiu-Jitsu guy. He took me down. He didn't finish me or anything, but I just couldn't get back to my feet, you know? I couldn't get back to do my striking. So I was like, man, I need to do more of that shit. So after that, it was around the time I was finishing school. So straight after I finished school, I left and I went to Thailand for 6 months. Instead of going to university, I got all the money that I was supposed to go to university with, and I just blew it all on the Thailand trip. I got a flexi ticket, and I stayed in Thailand for like 6 months, as long as I could, just eating like the cheapest food, but just training like 3 times a day. And it was over there, I started seeing the professional fighters. That's actually where I met AJ Matthews. Wow. And over there, I was watching the guys over there, and that's where I kind of realized, like, man, the thing that separates the amateurs and the pros is just their work ethic. You know, their consistency, they're here every day, you know, putting their best foot forward. And that's where it really made it realistic for me, because at the time in New Zealand, I hadn't really seen any professional fighters. So that trip to Thailand really put it in perspective for me. When I came back home, in my hometown in Rotorua, we have a lot of tough guys. You know, a lot of my cousins can scrap. They really, and the majority of them are more physically gifted than I am, you know, when it comes to athletics. But it's a small town. There's not many fighters. Everyone works normal jobs and stuff. So there was only so far I could go in terms of training partners. So then I made the move from my hometown of Rotorua, moved up to Auckland City. And I was blessed with an opportunity to train full-time with Steve Oliver. He was a former coach of Mark Hunt, JJ Wilson, who I'm living here with now. And it just blew my mind. He took me to the next level, and really, that's where I really started to train full-time and work out of his gym. Progressed through the jiu-jitsu ranks with him. And he connected me with Johnny Faria, who I'm training under now. So in a nutshell, that's how I got from there to today.
Awesome. That's a great story. So you're in San Diego now, and you said you've been there for about 3 months. What made the move?
So New Zealand's actually in a bit of a shit show right now, if you guys don't already know.
Yes.
So, yeah. It's quite a funny story. I'm not actually allowed to get back into my own country. you know, like the country that I grew up in, that I was born in, you know, that I represent whenever I fight around the world. I'm not allowed back there. and like neither is, like, there's no exceptions. You know, you could have your dad could be dying. You might be wanting to spend Christmas with your family. You might be a professional athlete like Israel Adesanya. You're going to spend, you know, going to represent the whole country, but because you left, you can't come back. There's just no exception. So I don't know what's going on there right now, but I knew it was like, you know, the career of the MMA fighter isn't that long, bro. So I was like, man, I need to get out of there before I turn 40, you know. So I managed to get out. I'm in San Diego, and it's a breath of fresh air to be around some like-minded people. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Awesome. Why did you choose San Diego?
I've already been here a few times pre-COVID. I was coming over. I was doing camps under Johnny Furrier with all the Alliance boys, and my buddy JJ. He's currently 8-0 in Bellator at the moment. He was the one that actually persuaded me. I actually moved here, like the move was like 2 weeks notice. Like I was supposed to be going to the IMF World Championships in Kazakhstan, Russia last year. And then all of a sudden the worlds are cancelled, and everything I had been training for and stuff was just like cancelled. We weren't too sure what was going on. New Zealand was going to go into another lockdown. And JJ messaged me. He was like, bro, I have a spare room at my house. Like, just move here. And I was like, okay, then I'll just move all my whole life to San Diego. And then he's like, no, do it. Well, like, what's holding you back? And I was like, actually, yeah, you're right. So, bro, like, as hard as it was, I like packed all my shit into one suitcase. You know, had a last couple of weeks with my family, broke up with my girlfriend of 2 years, and I moved out here, bro.
Yeah, the fucking life of the life of an MMA fighter, right?
Bro, honestly, like, I just keep telling myself, like, when you're 40 years old and you look back at this moment, you're never gonna forgive yourself if you didn't take it, you know. So it's hard, like, it's a sacrifice, short-term struggle for a long-term success, hopefully.
For sure. Talking about the IMMAF finals.
Yeah. So the guy that won my division, me and him actually 1-1 at the moment. Yeah. So we had a little bit. It was a buddy. We're actually good friends now. When we first fought, November 2020, I think, our first fight. My fight before that was his teammate, and I choked his teammate in the first round, and then he fought on the same night. He got on my mic, started talking some shit about me. Typical New Zealand, bro. In New Zealand, you know, everyone kind of beefs, but then anytime you get out of New Zealand and there's another New Zealander fighting someone else, then you have their back, you know. But it's all fun and games. At the end of the day, it's I feel like we all sharpen each other up there, and that's why when we go offshore, we do so well, because the scene in New Zealand is so, you know, so tough. But yeah, so anyway, we start going at it online, and we're talking shit about each other and stuff, and then we have an epic fight, bro, because it was a title fight, so it was 5 rounds. And man, I remember going into the first round, there was like my whole hometown, like almost my whole hometown, like my girlfriend, all her mates, everyone came. The stadium was packed, and it was actually a kickboxing show. So I was the main MMA fight. It was like the co-main event or something, bro. So the room was just going like crazy. There was all this like anticipation because we had been talking so much shit, you know. Everyone's like, come on, bro, you gotta smash him, you know. So in the first round, I go out like a madman, just trying to like knock his block off, bro. I give him everything I have. Like, I drop him, he gets back up, he's like shooting takedowns and shit. The whole first round, I'm just cracking him, giving everything I can. And in my head, I'm just like, bro, this guy is like a tough motherfucker. Like, I give him everything I have. And then I go back after the first round, and I'm like, holy shit, I got to do 4 more of those. There's 4 more rounds. Bro, he was, after that fight, like, I won on decision. But after that fight, everyone went crazy. They wanted to see it again. So we fought again We fought again, and it was another crazy fight. I had him in a choke. He was like taking me down. He mounted me at the end, but like I almost put him to sleep. Like it was just crazy fights, bro. And yeah, we were 1-1, and then he went to the IMF Worlds. It was actually like just last week in where was it? In Abu Dhabi. And bro, and then he submitted 4 people on his way to the finals, and then he fought in the final. He fought like Usip Magomedov, like the Russian dude that's been smashing everyone. My former opponent Fergus, he fought him and like took him down, was on top, like dominating the guy. It was crazy. It ended up being a split decision, but I thought it was a clear win to him. So man, huge hats off to Fergus. He's the fucking man, bro. Like it's crazy. Like after you fight someone, you gain so much respect for them. So I already had a ton of respect for Fergus after sharing the cage with him twice. But even more so now, like I'm super happy for the bro. It was a sick performance. 5 fights, 5 wins in 6 days against, he had the favorite Russian dude, and then in his semi, he had a hard run. In the semi, he fought that kid from Jordan. He's like the second pick or something, but I don't know. He got the job done anyway. So hats off to him.
So a trilogy has to happen at some point, right?
Yeah. So after the second fight, the commentator was like, because it's funny, bro, because we were still amateurs, and there's like a whole pro card after us and stuff. But like everyone was like kind of talking about us because, even though we were young, but because we had so much stuff going on online, they were like, so is there going to be a trilogy? And Fergus was just like, bro, not as an amateur. Like every time we fight, it's straight fireworks. We both come out of there bruised and battered and shit. Like, I will do it again if they pay us, and I support that. Like, fuck, if we're getting some money for it, we'll do it again, But man, I ain't going to another one of those wars for free, bro.
For sure. So you're taking one more fight as an amateur before turning pro. I guess, is that because you want to go out with like a big fight, or what's the decision behind that?
Bro, so I actually haven't fought since that second fight against Fergus. That was in April. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've never actually like publicly said this, but before, and I didn't want to say this at all. Like I didn't make any, when after the fight, like all I said was I lost, blah, 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 because I didn't ever want to like seem like that bitch. But 3 weeks before my fight with Fergus, my physio told me I needed a surgery on my knee, and it wasn't a major surgery. It was just my leg was like getting locked out, and it was because of bone fragment. I got the bone fragment in New Zealand. Actually, it's a fucking huge chunk. It was sitting behind my kneecap, bro. So even though the ligaments and stuff were fine, like out of the blue, my leg would just lock out. Like after that fight, it locked out on me like 5 times that night. I had to drink so much alcohol to make it feel good. But it would just lock out on me, and then I'd have to get someone, I'd be like, fuck, I was like screaming in agony. I had to scream at my dad to try and like bend my knee again because it was just locked out straight. So after that fight, I had surgery on my knee, and then I haven't fought since then. So I got here. We had a pro debut lined up, but I was still talking to my coach back home in New Zealand, Steve Oliver, and my dad, and they thought it was a good idea for me to just get in there, and it's been so long, and just get in there and test my new knee out, and just get some momentum going and ride that all the way, and then in April we're off to the races. We're gonna make a pro debut.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I was wondering if Fergus was your last fight, because I saw that on your record, but Tapology sometimes is all fucked up. So I was wondering. So basically, you want to get another fight and you want to go out on a win, right?
Yeah. I want to go out. The wins and losses, it's very obviously important, but what's more important to me is getting out there and performing the way I know I should, because if I perform the way I know I should, then the win's going to come anyway. And that was the most not regret that I didn't have any regrets after that last fight. I'm glad that I took it because I've learned so much in the process from then until now. But on that night, it was just me not doing my job. Like I didn't go out there and I didn't do my job, and that's why I lost. So this next fight, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do my job.
Gotcha. So let's talk about it. Dion Young next Friday. How do you like the matchup?
Yeah, I like it. I see he's got some good striking. I'm like, to be honest, I didn't even look at his topology or anything when they sent me the name. I'm just so excited to compete, bro. I said I can't, like, because they sent me the name in the group chat, and my manager will vouch for this too. They sent me the name and I was like, bro, I couldn't open the link. I was like, I can't open the link, but just say yes. Like I just can't wait to compete. And I don't actually care who I fight next. I'm so the last few months have been so crazy. Being by myself, like I'm living with my friend JJ, but being away from my family, away from my partner, and my cousins and stuff, I've just had so much time to focus on me and my game. And I just feel like no matter who steps in there with me next Friday, they're not going to be able to stop what I do. Like I'm so focused on my game plan, something that I've been working on for the last few months. My fitness is good, my striking is good, my wrestling is good, jiu-jitsu is good. No matter where it goes, I'm taking his head off next weekend.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How do you see the fight going, and do you have a prediction?
Man, I've been working on my striking a lot, bro. I've been working on my striking a lot, and if he does give me trouble there and it does go to the ground, or if I catch one of those kicks and put him down, it's over on the ground too. But I see him walking onto something. My hands are feeling great lately. So no predictions, but wherever it goes, bro, I feel like I'm gonna get the better of him.
Awesome. What do you want your 2022 to look like?
By the end of 2022, I want to be 4-0 as a pro and signed. That's my goal. That's my goal that I've been thinking about, sitting on this goal for the last few months. I just want to stay active. Like I have, this is the healthiest my body and my knee has been. Like I think I had like 4 amateur fights like that with my knee so fucked. Like, bro, I remember not my fight with Fergus, but my fight with his teammate. It was down in Dunedin, down in the South Island, and bro, it's so fucking cold down there. And it was nighttime, obviously. I'm getting ready for my fight, getting ready for them to call my name. I'm like jumping up and down, trying to, like getting in the zone. Bro, my knee buckles right before they say my name. And I'm like, bro, like I look to my corner, I don't tell them nothing because I know they're already worried about it. So I don't tell them nothing. I just walk out. As soon as the fight starts, I shoot on them and take his back. So I'm so happy just to be healthy, bro. And as long as I'm healthy, like I'm in America. I've made so much sacrifices in terms of like my family and my relationship and just my life in New Zealand. I had a good job there, teaching at a school. I was teaching at a like an elementary school. I was running like a jiu-jitsu program there, as well as working at my coach's gym. So I was comfortable, man. I had everything set up. So I've sacrificed a lot to be here. So I'm definitely not going to take it for granted. I'm not here to party and get a tan. I'm here to do some work. So I'm going to fight as much as I can this year. And by the end of the year, I'm confident that I'll be 4-0 and signed.
So Haka Wilson with 2 great knees is a fucking dangerous person, right?
I tell you what, bro, we'll find out next weekend.
So your pro debut, man. If you had to choose, do you want to make your pro debut in New Zealand? Do you want to make it in the States? Like, what's the plan?
We're gonna make it here. I'm living here permanently now.
Oh, are you?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So we're currently in the process of filing my visa.
Wow.
Grateful as for Jason House and the team at Iridium Sports Agency. I just signed with them as my management company like a couple months ago now, and since I signed, they've been nothing but like nothing but a blessing, bro. Like I've never been signed with like an actual manager before, if you couldn't already tell. But so they're getting me like supplements and stuff, just rocking up to my door. They're helping me with my visa. That I've got a lawyer, so the whole visa process is a headache. I try to go through it myself. I didn't even know it was like a different language, So shout out to Lance at Iridium for helping me with that process. But yeah, I'm gonna be. Looks like if all goes well with this P1 visa, I'll be here for the next 5 years at least. So yeah, so we're looking to make a pro debut. I'm not sure what show we're going to be looking at, but Jason said he has one lined up for April. So as soon as we get through that, as long as I'm healthy, bro, I'm good to go. Quick turnarounds.
Awesome. That's awesome. Man, yeah, it's so exciting. So as your Instagram bio says, you really are. Let me see if it's a Maori boy running amok in California.
Oh yeah, brother, for sure. Yeah, like running amok in New Zealand. Like I feel like the boys in New Zealand, we're just so easygoing, always having a good time, man. And that's something I had to kind of find myself. They say you go through life and you're always learning, but I feel like at a stage you get to a point where you have to unlearn some shit, And I'm definitely focused, and I've always been super focused, but I feel like I kind of lost myself a little bit in the sense where I got too, like writing my goals down. Like I still write my goals down and stuff, and have all of those visions and all of that, but I feel like I was like following everything too much and being super serious. And I don't feel like I do my best when I'm like that. I feel like I'm at my best when I'm focused, driven, but I'm just enjoying the moment, bro. So everything we do, I just try my best to obviously be focused and get the job done, but enjoy the process at the same time. Because one day I'm gonna look back at all these times when I'm old and ugly, and I'm just gonna wish I enjoyed it, So. Yeah. So we're having fun. We're running amok out here in California, and I'm loving it, bro.
That's awesome to hear. Finally, this is random, but I wanted you to. How do you say your full name?
Te Hakaraia o te rangi.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I'm not even gonna fucking try a white boy. I'm just gonna butcher that. So I just wanted to hear it from you.
It's all good, bro. I'm sure you're gonna get a lot more practice in the next coming years.
Yes, for sure, man. Awesome. Well, it was awesome to talk to you. Awesome. Yeah, I'm honored to finally talk with you. You want to plug your social media, plug your sponsors? The floor is yours.
Yeah. So my Instagram is Hakaraia Wilson. It's just Hakaraia W. Sorry, Hakaraia W on Instagram. Haven't made a Twitter yet. No one in New Zealand has Twitter, but we're getting onto it. And yeah, since I want to give a big shout out to White Rabbit Construction back in New Zealand, Esia Tatupu Funerals in New Zealand. Oliver MMA out there in New Zealand fighting a huge battle right now with the silly government. And out here, FX Supplements also just sent me a sick package with protein and all the necessities for training. So shout out to them. Lions, BJJ San Diego, AJ Matthews at Thug Tie. Thank you all, man. Plenty more good times to come.